Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first video that you are watching, my name is Saray and thank you so much for joining me as well today. In this video, we are going to be setting up the month of October for my budget setup. I will be using the stickers from my Etsy shop, and this will actually be the very first budget setup that I'm using stickers for in my 7x9 Erin Condren life planner. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start by setting up my monthly view, and I did write myself a note. This is the month where student loan payments are starting back up, which I'm not very thrilled about, but hey, it has to be done. To set up my monthly view, I'm going to be using these labels. These are bill labels, and you'll notice on the kit that there are a couple of different colors, actually a total of 3. So the orange, which will be most of the bills, will represent bills that are due every month, and the brownish one will be for sinking funds that may be due this month. I have a total of 3 sinking funds due, so I will be highlighting those with these darker color labels. While the dashboard page includes a tracking section, I like to use this little calendar to track my no spends for this month. So now I'm just filling in all of the bills that are due this month in order so that I have a nice visual for when they're due throughout the month. And I'm just adding a little bit of decoration to give it a little seasonal look. I'm using one of my Pilot Friction highlighters to highlight the holiday. I'm pretty happy with my layout for this month. I'm gonna go kind of minimal. I'm not gonna put a header. If I wanted to go a little bit more decorative, I certainly can. I can put like one of the monthly headers from one of the monthly kits, but I think I'll just keep it this way, just with the labels and a little bit of deco. So for this page, I'm gonna use the circles. I kept these from the previous petite budget book from Erin Condren. I really do like the circles, and there's definitely enough space up here to place them and to just keep them a little bit more decorative. And you can just basically just jot down 3 goals that you might have for the month when it comes to your finances. I also have the rating stars, so you can go back and rate yourself at the end of the month with how you did towards your financial goals. I've been using my rating system for some time, so it definitely comes in handy to reflect. These headers I actually keep as is. I find them that they're still helpful for a budget planner, but you can certainly use like washi if you wanted to cover it and just kind of come up with your own header. One thing I love to do is use some of the deco stickers to create my own washi. So that's what I'm going to do instead of covering up these headers, because they are functional for me. So I'm just going in with the scissors and cutting them in half and just layering them next to each other to create this washi effect. I love how this washi deco turned out. It looks great. I'm going to use some stickers from the headers and extras page to just use some of these components to jot down some of the important dates and important projects. And for this tracking, I'll leave it blank. I don't use this tracking really at all. I'm not a huge fan of how it is set up. I know that the spacing is very limited, but I just don't use it at all. I don't have much to track really. Let me go ahead and set up these 2 sections. I'm using the little page flag to identify anything that is super important for this month, and the little dots to indicate any other events or things that I want to recall for this month as well, and either important dates or important projects. It's time to fill it in, so I'm going to start by listing out my 3 goals for this month. And my first goal is to check in with my budget on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And my second goal has to do with some of our businesses. So I need to organize some of our paperwork, things that I have going on with my husband. And then the last thing is the SB community. So I alluded to this a couple of videos ago, and it's something that I'm working really hard on, but I feel like there's not enough time for anything, but more to come on that soon. In the important days section, I am listing out that the taxes are due this month. So we had extended our taxes this year, so they are due on October 16th. We also have a number of other events happening this month, including my birthday, my niece's birthday, my nephew's birthday, and my uncle's birthday. It's a big month for birthday for us, as well as our 11th wedding anniversary. For important projects that I'm working on, again, is that SB community. I need to really get a handle on some of the environment areas within our home, like organizing our spice cabinets. And I also need to do some of the work on the accounts that we have. And I also need to establish a separate bank account for that because we had some banking changes that we did a few months ago and I haven't gotten around to that. I also have to sign my severance documents for work, and I also have another organizational project with some of my beauty products. Since I'm not really using this bottom section of this page, I'm going to use some of this thick washi and just kind of cut around it and create a little more of a journaling washi to decorate the bottom of the page. So here's my dashboard, definitely one of my favorite pages in this whole planner. I will go ahead and highlight just a couple of important things for this month because I do want to call them out. That would be definitely taxes, SB community, and signing my severance paperwork. The next few pages will be for setting up my overall budget overview for the month. So I start with the income, count down how many lines I'm going to need in order to list them all, and then I include the totals section. Next is the sinking fund bills, followed by the totals. And lastly, on this page, I include any other savings that I might want to track. In the following page, I list all of our monthly bills, and I do that here so that I can track how much is planned versus the actual amount spent. Next is the debt section. I list out all of our debts. Some of these are essentially monthly bills as well, so I don't include our car payment, for example, in the monthly bill section, but it will go on the debt section because hopefully I can get rid of that at some point. The last section after debt is the monthly variable expenses, things like groceries, personal expenses. And then in this section, I keep track of any business or work-related expenses. Following that are sinking funds others, things like a vacation planning, Christmas, gifts, things that are not typically bills but are expenses that will come up throughout the year. The next page is the sinking funds ledger. So I like to keep a running balance and a list of all of the sinking funds with how much I have for each category. And then the other pages will be transaction trackers. I'm just going to draw a few lines just to add a little more structure. And for this last page of the budget overview section, I'm going to add some washi at the very bottom because I do have some extra space that I can work with here. And this last strip is essentially to calibrate my budget with total income, expenses, and difference. So here's a budget flip through of how the budget setup looks like before I add any of the figures. Some of the unused pages in the back will be used because I will be using them for a weekly checking, which I will share in the future. Now it's time to fill out my budget. I'm going to start first with the income section, and I'm just listing all of the sources of income that I'm expecting for this month. So now I filled all the numbers in. There's going to be something a little bit different about this budget, and that is that I'm not going to be fully funding my sinking funds this month. And the reason for that is because of my employment change, and I felt like I was a little bit out of routine with my budgeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset all of my sinking funds, pay the 3 that are going to be due this month, and then reset everything for the following month, so that then I am setting aside little by little for all of my sinking funds. Here are the numbers filled in for the rest of the budget for monthly bills, debts, monthly variable expenses, business expenses, and sinking funds other. So here is my full budget set up for this month. I'm feeling pretty confident with how I set it up, and I cannot wait to do my regular check-ins, and I will continue to update everything as I check in and as I fill out my budget. This is a live, living and breathing document, so I'm going to be checking with this daily, and I will certainly keep you guys posted on how I am doing budget wise this month. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube shorts. That's where I'm going to be posting a few of my cash stuffing videos. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video. If you're not an existing subscriber, I encourage you to do so. I post videos every week. Thank you guys so much for all of the support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.